Grown adults crying in a stadium because 11 strangers kicked the ball into a net. Families not speaking for weeks because of a game result. People who have never met the players, never been to the city, never had any direct connection to the team, devastated, euphoria consumed. From the outside, it looks irrational. From the inside, it feels like the most real thing in the world. Today, we're going to break down exactly what's happening psychologically when someone loses themselves in a sports team. Not to mock it, but because the psychology behind it reveals something important about what humans are actually looking for. 5 things are happening inside a sports fan's brain that have nothing to do with the sport itself. Number 5 is one nobody wants to admit. The first thing sports fandom gives people is something most of them are quietly desperate for: a ready-made identity. Psychologist Henry Teipel developed social identity theory in 1970s. His central finding was simple and devastating. Human beings derive a significant portion of their self-esteem not from who they are as individuals, but from the groups they belong to. We are tribal animals. We need a tribe, and we need that tribe to be good, to win, to be worth belonging to. Sports teams are one of the most efficient identity vehicles ever created. You choose a team, you wear the colors, you learn the history. Instantly, you have a groove, a shared language, a sense of belonging that requires almost nothing from your personality. You didn't have to earn it. You just had to show up. And that's exactly the point. In a world where individual identity is increasingly complex, increasingly uncertain, increasingly something you have to construct from scratch, the sports teams offer something rare: clarity, belonging without the work. The second thing fandom provides is connection, and not surface level connection, the kind that feels real. Psychologist John Cacioppo spent decades studying loneliness. One of his consistent findings was the shared experience, specifically shared emotional experience, is one of the fastest way humans form genuine bonds. When you suffer together, you bond. When you celebrate together, you bond. The emotion doesn't have to be about something personally meaningful. It just has to be shared. A stadium of 80,000 people all feeling the same thing at the same moment is one of the most powerful bonding experiences available in modern life. Think about what's been lost. The ritual that used to create the experience, the religious gathering, the community ceremonies, the shared practices that bound people together across generations. Many of those have thinned or disappeared entirely. Sports tapped into the gap. The fan who paints their face and screams in a stadium isn't just watching a game. They're participating in one of the few remaining rituals that reliably produces the feeling of being genuinely, viscerally part of something larger than themselves. That's not irrational. That's a human need finding one of its few remaining outlets. The third thing sports gives people is permission. Permission to feel things fully in public, without explanation. Here's something worth sitting with. Most people spend the majority of their lives managing their emotional expression, staying professional, staying composed, not being too much, not showing too much. The workplace demands it. Social norms reinforce it. Emotional suppression becomes so automatic that many people lose access to the full range of what they're capable of feeling. And then they go to a game. And suddenly, it's not just acceptable to scream and cry and hug strangers. It's expected. It's the point. Psychologist James Panabaker's research on emotional expression found that the suppression of strong emotion has measurable negative effects on physical and psychological health. The body keeps the cost of what the mind refuses to process. Sports creates a socially sanctioned container for emotional release. The stakes are real enough to produce genuine feeling. The outcome is external enough that feeling doesn't have to be examined too closely. You're not crying because of unprocessed grief. You're crying because they missed the penalty. Same tears, safer explanation. The fourth thing is meaning, and this is where it gets complicated. Psychologist Roy Baumeister spent years studying what makes human beings feel that their lives matter. Sports fandom delivers a version of or 4 simultaneously: purpose, following a season, tracking a team, being part of something with stakes and direction. Value, the wins matter, the loses matter, something is at stake. Efficacy, the fan who believes their presence in the stadium, their ritual before the game, their specific seat genuinely affects the outcome. Research has documented this. Fans consistently overestimate the casual role of their behavior on game results. And that belief, however irrational, produces the feeling of agency, of maturing, self-worth. When the team wins, the fan wins. Psychologist Robert Cialdini documented the phenomenon he called BIRGING, basking in reflected glory. After a team victory, fans use the word "we" significantly more. We won. We played well. We dominated. After a loss, the language shifts. They lost. They played badly. They let us down. The glory is shared. The failure is distance. Your self-esteem rises and falls with the scoreboard of people you have never met. That's not a small thing. That's your sense of your own worth being outsourced to an external event you have zero control over. Here's number 5, the one that lands differently. Sports fandom, at its most intense, is a way of not being present to your own life. Not an escape. That word is too gentle and too judgmental at the same time. More precisely, a substitution. When the game is on, you're not thinking about the promotion you didn't get. You're not sitting with the relationship that isn't working. You're not confronting the version of your life that doesn't match the one you imagined at 22. You're fully present, completely absorbed, genuinely feeling something. And it costs nothing, requires nothing, demands nothing from you personally. Psychologist Mihaly spent decades studying what he called flow, the state of complete absorption in an activity. He found that flow is one of the primary sources of genuine happiness and meaning in human life. Sports fandom produces something that mimics flow. The absorption is real. The emotion is real. The sense of presence is real. But it's borrowed presence. You're fully in the moment of someone else's performance. This is not a moral judgment. It's psychological absorption. The question it raises is a personal one. Not whether sports fandom is good or bad, but whether the intensity of feeling available in a stadium is also available in your own life. And if it isn't, that's worth knowing. Because the hunger that sends 80,000 people into a stadium every weekend is a real hunger for belonging, for meaning, for permission to feel, for the experience of being fully present. Sports is one answer to that hunger. It's not the only one. Let's go back through the 5 things. 1. Sports gives people a ready-made identity in a world while building one's from scratch is harder than it's ever been. 2. It provides a kind of shared emotional experience that creates genuine human bonds, one of the few remaining rituals that reliably does. 3. It gives permission for full emotional expression in a world that spends most of its time suppressing it. 4. It delivers a sense of meaning, purpose, and efficacy, even if that efficacy is partially illusory. 5. At its most intense, it substitutes for a level of presence and feeling that many people can't find in their own lives. None of this makes sports fans irrational. It makes them human, looking for exactly what every human is looking for, just finding it in a specific place. The interesting question isn't why people lose themselves in a team. It's what they're looking for that the team is providing, and whether there are other places they could find it. If this reframes something, subscribe. Next time, we're going into why humans need enemies, and what happens to a person's psychology when there's no one to compete against. That one goes somewhere unexpected. Thank you for watching the video until the end.